guys, and happy Homebrew Wednesday. Just call me Ironmeyer. Been working with a lot of Ironmeyer flasks lately, building up these Kveik yeast cultures. And yeah, but first let's go ahead, crack into a mango IPA, or a mango IPA coming in at 6.5% by my colleague Yomar. Get it into the glass, and we'll talk. Small hiss. Let's go ahead. See, this one's been in the bottle. I think he put it in a bottle from a keg. It's kind of a dark straw color. Good carbonation. Got a nice, nice normal sized bubbles heads. Let's go ahead and get the aroma. Very nice tropical IPA aroma. Very fruity, and I do get those mangoes. Thanks a lot, Yomar. Cheers. Okay, first one of the week. I get that sort of, I really get the pit from a grapefruit pit tasting off this. Kind of like the rind. You know, you sort of get that bitterness from the rinds. Really, truly grapefruit rinds. And a little bit of pineapple and some mango. So, nicely done. This is very interesting. Alright, so for Homebrew Wednesday, this week I've been pretty much occupied with just trying to build up the cultures for the Kveik Yeast. I still have two that are just in the beer bottles, but I have migrated some of these over. I did get a really cool tool called a separator funnel, and that basically allows me to collect yeasts that have been on a stir plate for a while. So let me go ahead and just cut to some footage of that. Here you go. Hey guys, so what I've got here is the Sigmund Uranus strain. This is the Voss strain 3995. And I've got this in a separator flask. I've recently seen this on another BrewTube or video here on YouTube. It's not a well-known BrewTuber. It doesn't do Homebrew Wednesdays or anything like that, but there are a couple brew-related videos, and I'll post a link down in the description. But he showed me how to use the separator flask in order to collect yeast, which I thought was really, really cool. The way that you usually wash yeast, of course, is to put it into a an Ironmeyer flask, and then stir it up, let it settle, stir it up, pour it into a jar, and keep it that way. This way, instead of actually having to collect and keep all of this water, you can see here we've got the water that I use to wash the yeast with, and then you can see there's the really fresh yeast up on top, and then the lower layers, there's two layers there. One that looks like it's pretty fresh, and then there's sort of almost a peanut butter color layer, and that's kind of the layer that we don't want. So what this separator flask allows you to do is just go ahead and collect the yeast that you want without collecting all of the yeast that you don't want. So i.e. it's a separator funnel. So I don't really have a scientific ring in order to hang this in. So I have an old carboy here that had cracked in me. I'd used some PBW in it, which you should never do with these PET carboys, and it cracked the bottom, so there was a leak. So I went ahead and just cut the top off, which is not as easy as you would think. Had to use a Dremel, and then cut a hole out of here. So then I can go ahead, lower this thing down in here, and then I've cut a hole here where I can reach in and just turn the knob and collect the yeast. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, so it's not a spectacular view, but at least you can see it a little bit through the better bottle. So I do have a container here that I want to collect just the bottom portion of it first, and then I'll go ahead and use another container to keep the yeast that I really want to keep. So let's go ahead and start. So I'll just crank this open, then lift up the top, and boom, the yeast starts to come down. Right there, boom, stop, oh, overflow. Alright, I did get, let me go ahead and just dump some of that right in there. You can kind of see it really looks nice and clean. So I'm going to go ahead and put a cap on that one. So it'll kind of be my back. Then I have a nice clean vial that I used from a famous source. And let me go ahead and just collect that last bit of the freshest stuff that I want. Goes fast once it's really open. So there we go. A nice full vial of nearly perfectly created yeast. So that's basically 2 full vials of the, this one is the Sigmund Uranus Kveik Yeast. Okay, so there we go. If you see in the bottom, there is still just a little bit, but with 2 full vials left over, I'm just going to go ahead and dump this out, rinse out the separator flask so that I can then use it for collecting the next yeast strains I got going on. The next one, I'll step up to a 5 milliliters or a 5-liter starter. I'll use the 5-liter Homebrew flask. This is only a 2-liter. See, I've got a pretty good healthy vial, or a healthy strain here of the Murray Kveik hybrid. So I'm going to go ahead and bump that up to about a 2-liter starter in a 5-liter flask. And then in this one, I'll be putting in and bumping up the Stig Stolchen one. This is from Horndal. So yeah, just stepping up these yeast cultures and getting them ready to brew up a traditional Norwegian Kveik. Alright, so that's where I'm at. I just went ahead and bottled up these 2 here with the Sigmund. You can see it's already starting to settle pretty good in there. Here it's got the first bit from it, as you saw, and that's coming in nicely. So the Murray I've been building up a couple times now, and I've got a pretty good culture on the bottom, and I'm going to step that up to the 5-liter, and I'm probably going to do a 2-liter starter on this one next, going up from a 1-liter starter up to about probably 2 to a 2.5-liter starter. And then I'm going to take this Stig Stolchen, the Herndal strain, and move that up to a 2-liter flask. And then I'll take probably the Ottawa SB1 and move that over here into the 5 milliliter RMR flask and start to build that culture up. Here's a Nornus B culture. This is also from Voss, containing strains 4101, 4104, 4107, 4108. That's been building up as well. I just reinitialized that one 2 days ago. So, that one's ready to step up as well. So, yeah, it just takes time in order to do this. But that's pretty much how it's going. That's where I am with that. What I'd like to do is to be able to have all of these cultures ready inside some files so that I could go ahead and compare them all at the same time. What I'd like to be able to do is essentially a 10-gallon batch, and then I'll split them up into 5 ways, into 1-gallon batches, 5 different ways. And then for the last 5 gallons I'll use, I actually got my hands on some PDO and some Brettanomyces brux, so I might be experimenting with that. Not experimenting, but yeah, just seeing what I can accomplish. So that's all there is that's going on here. I do have a couple acquisitions this week, which was pretty cool. I finally did get a new pH meter, so let me go ahead and show you that. Alright, so here we go. I did get the Milwaukee 102, so it's the MW 102 pH meter, which comes with cables, one specifically for the probe and then one for a temperature probe. I can already see all these wires and stuff possibly getting in the way and dragging things around, potentially causing problems. So in contrast to just having this, which has no cables and wires and worry about dragging something across something else, whatever, yeah, I'm gonna miss this one, I think. This one was only about 10 bucks more, so it wasn't really that much more expensive than this one. And I can see that I think this one is probably more convenient. In terms of being able to read pHs, I really like this one. I never had a problem with it. I calibrated it on one brew day, and it would stay calibrated throughout the day. You know, I would obviously continuously check, and I would never have to recalibrate it. So this one was always really good with me. This is the Hatch Pocket Pro Plus. But I'm going to go ahead and try the MW102 and see how that goes. I may end up actually ordering another probe just to see if it will actually work. You can see I do get the meter on now. The pH reading though, it's always jumping around, so I know I can't trust it. Yeah. It's probably just the probe, so I may end up just spending 70 bucks to get the probe and seeing if that fixes it. We'll see. Like so many other people out there, I've been using one of these to do cap and bottles for a very long time. I also have another one, a significantly older one, looks like this. I don't know if you've ever seen these before. Puts nice little dents in the top of your bottle caps. But so yeah, so I went ahead and did a small upgrade, and I got one of these puppies. So yeah, I look forward to go ahead and making some good use of that. So beyond that, not a lot going on. Picked up some grains recently for the next couple brews. Probably going to be brewing within the next couple of weeks. So hopefully we'll be able to share some of the video from that. With that, guys, I bid you a farewell. I hope you guys are having a hell of a week and a better weekend. Cheers.